Politics. Season number 2, episode 11.
11.
Space Coast Podcast Studios, Jesse on the knobs. Kid Chronic Treez, here we go.
So Treez, let me ask you this one
yes,
real
sir.
quick. Did you see the World Series where Trump was booed?
I did not see it live. I heard about it.
So basically,
I
he
was
came
very
out.
upset.
He put a jersey over his suit, which was interesting to throw the ball out. You know, it's just weird to put a jersey
Take
over
the
suit.
suit
I've
off.
never seen that before.
Yeah.
So he put a jersey over the suit. He comes
the
out,
jacket
tried
off.
real hard, threw a decent ball, and they booed him and chanted, "Lock him up."
They did. I don't think the whole audience did, which it's being embellished. The fact that it happened at all is definitely shitty. The fact that it happened after the Baghdadi situation is shittier, which we're going to also get into, and the amazing, strange spin that that's taken. Yeah, Trump was booed, and so that's where we're at, folks. Some people don't like this guy. He happened to be, I think it was in Washington, or was it in Houston? I think it was at Nationals. Not a good look.
But
yeah.
Don't you think it's also like kind of emblematic of like what the Trump family's life is going to be like from now on? Because you have to think.
Well, I agree.
These are New York City folks. They like to be in New York City. They like to be in L.A.
Yeah,
they like to
be in all the places where people hate
They like to
them.
be in London. They want to be in the hot spots. And all those hot spots, they're fucking hated.
Yeah.
People hate them. So what are they going to do? Spend the rest of their life in Arkansas?
No, but you make an interesting point. Where they're strongest, they don't be there.
Dude, Trump wouldn't even pull his limo over to take a piss in the yard of one of his voters. He'd never step foot in their state. He'll drop the jet down and say, "Hey, dummies, vote for me. I'm white too. Peace."
Right.
That's it. You don't give a fuck about those areas.
I could say that there's a good chance.
He only hangs out in liberal strongholds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
where's
South
Mar-a-Lago?
Florida,
Mar-a-Lago,
West Palm
right
Beach.
in the middle of a liberal stronghold.
Manhattan, West Palm Beach.
Yep.
No, I get it. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I've always felt that.
And, I mean, his whole business is going to be a problem unless rednecks are going to start golfing at $1,000 a round. I mean, who's going to go to his courses?
Well, like I said, and please, if anybody tied to Trump is listening, TNN, Trump News Network, you start and launch your own thing. You destroy Fox. You become the antithesis to CNN and MSNBC. And you put in all of those young right-wing guys, your Gavin McInnes, your Steven Crowders, your Charlie Kirks, whatever, and all this, and give a platform. Your Milo Yiannopoulos is like the fucking head of the whole network.
I actually like
He's
Milo.
broke, by the way.
Of course
Sad.
he's broke, dude. I used
So
to follow
sad.
Milo on Instagram. He's
Milo.
so insignificant, I don't even follow him anymore.
Yeah.
But when he got his like $1 million payday for the book, he immediately was just shopping and shopping and shopping. I was thinking to myself, $1 million does not go that far.
No.
And then our assistant Chelsea worked at one of his parties in Miami.
Yeah,
and he was carried in by like these other like male models.
Yeah,
in, like
it's
a
like
big
so
chair.
decadent.
Yeah, so he's like spending $10,000 on house parties and shit.
Yeah,
the guy's
like very
a
silly.
financial fool.
Very, very, very silly. All right, 2020 candidates. There's been a lot of shifts since we were last in studio here. Joe Biden slipping and slipping and slipping away. Elizabeth Warren gaining traction. Let me just say this before you chime in. The Democrats seem nervous. Biden was supposed to be propped up as the guy. It looks like that very well might not happen as he keeps slipping away. It's really getting closer. Warren seems unelectable. And if you watch old episodes of our shows, we talked about Warren was going to be possibly the nominee. We've been saying that. It seems like that's very likely, but there's no way she can beat Trump.
Okay.
What do you think of what's happening with these top two?
Okay. Biden is dead, y'all. Just admit it. Biden is dead in the water, man. This guy is going nowhere. But he's been a nice, effective lightning rod at the top of the party to keep our other candidates clean. So I'm cool
true.
with that. But he was never my choice. He was
Except
never going to
Tulsi
make
Gabbard.
it. And let me tell you something else. His son, Hunter, or whatever, yeah, he's cool. And I don't mind the guy, but it is bullshit. If you're the vice president's son, you shouldn't be getting $50,000, $60,000 a month or a week or whatever it was from a Ukrainian company. I mean, this kid has no talent
So you agree with
whatsoever.
that?
And he's making more money than people like me who own big corporations, or not big, but who own decent-sized corporations are doing. So it's totally corrupt.
You're not making a living because of your
and
daddy's
then the fact
last
that he's
name.
dating the other son's wife is just bizarre. So
Right.
one son dies and you start dating the wife. So I just think that the Bidens are a freaking nightmare. So we got to push them off. And then you have E. Warren. Okay, so we could talk about Elizabeth Warren. She has the plans. She would be a great president. But the stock market might revolt against her. Big business might revolt against her. Is Trump going to call her Pocahontas during the election? I mean, probably. So there's some weird things there that are interesting. I do agree with.
She seems to lie a little bit.
But here's the thing.
Embellish.
The number 2 right now is Pete Buttigieg. Now, is America ready?
He's the 3, though.
He's 2 in some polls now in Iowa.
Really?
In the Iowa, where it's
Well,
pretty
he
important.
might win Iowa.
Yeah, in Iowa, he's number 2. In
Go ahead.
Iowa,
I was going to mention that.
Iowa's no liberal stronghold. I mean, that could go either way
go,
in Iowa.
Well,
yeah.
you know, Ted Cruz won Iowa.
Yeah, you can go
which
either
was
way.
already a curveball.
Right.
It was not supposed to be Ted Cruz that won that. They thought Jeb Bush, and Trump finishes 2 in Iowa, sets him that he knew then, holy shit, I'm in this, wins New Hampshire. I believe you that Buttigieg is probably going to win Iowa.
So here's the thing. First, I'm like, is America ready for a first gentleman? And my immediate response is,
no.
Hell no. America's not ready for a first
Heartland
gentleman.
will not do it.
2 guys in the White House, America
Never.
would freaking lose it. You know,
Do they make out in their campaign
dude, the parties
ads?
at the White House would be great, though. I mean,
so sure.
it would be amazing. But here's the thing.
Milo Yiannopoulos will be
But then
there.
I thought about it further, and I thought to myself, is there any way that Trump could even feasibly debate a Buttigieg? And you know what? There is no way. I mean, at every turn, Buttigieg would slaughter him. He's a soldier, and he's not afraid to mention he's a soldier, and he's not afraid to mention that Trump is a coward. He's religious, and he's not afraid to mention that he's religious, and these other people are fake religious. He is smart as a fucking whip. I mean, to see those two go head-to-head, I think Buttigieg would just destroy him. But I don't know if that would be enough to get America to vote for Buttigieg.
Of course not. Winning a debate doesn't mean you're going to put a homosexual as president.
Exactly.
We still haven't had a woman president, so forget it. That is
I think
100% not happening.
You could get a gay president before a woman, and I'll tell you why.
No way.
Women hate each other. So women won't vote for each other. Men are different. If you had a bowling ball
Straight
that had
men aren't going to vote for this guy.
penis on it, men would vote it into
You think
office
so?
just to make sure that we could win. But women won't vote for another woman. Gays are different. The LGBT community, every single one of them will stand in lines for hours to vote for Buttigieg.
That's true.
That's why you could get an LGBT president long before you
Not
get a
enough of
woman
them.
president.
Not
A
enough
woman
of them.
sees a woman going for president, and they're like, no, she doesn't deserve it.
Some are catty.
Yeah.
Some are catty.
And then some
but
have their husbands'
some are all
politics.
about that ceiling, man, and that's the only reason they're
I've
gonna
had
vote for
women
them.
talk to me about how a woman wouldn't be a good president. I think we're too emotional. We think that. And I'm like, imagine living
Possibly.
in a society where you've been programmed to believe that you couldn't do something because of like your own genetics or something. It's just bizarre. But women have a lot of hurdles. 200 years they haven't had a president. 200 years, folks.
Well, some of it was being held back, and we made a lot of progress. I mean, women had
They can't
a lot of
organize.
rights. But the bottom line is I think that anything fringe outside of white male, black male, white female, black female, more than likely, everything else is fringe of that. Jewish president, gay president, Martian president, whatever you want to call it, black woman president, even might be the toughest of all of them.
No, because Michelle Obama could do it.
She's the only one.
Yeah,
She's
could
the
do
only
it.
one. And by the way, so on a side note, so he brings up Michelle Obama. This is how weak your Democratic candidates stand right now. They did a poll. If Michelle Obama threw her hat in right now, she leads in the polling. Fucking think about that. Joe Biden's so weak. Your candidates are so weak that Michelle Obama would win right now.
Because everyone
that's
loves
pretty
Michelle
nuts.
Obama, dude. There's nothing to dislike about her. She is
Maybe
quiet.
so.
She's professional. She runs a good family. She's a Harvard-educated
Should
lawyer.
she be at the top of the polls?
The reason is because there's an infatuation. They want her to run, and she won't run, and she probably will
Sure.
never run. So she gets a lot of benefits because she will actually never run, so nobody attacks her. They all just say, yeah, she's great, because she's not really a competitor since she won't run.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the theory is that she might, after Trump wins re-election, which he will, I believe a Democrat will win the next election. I think, as we talked about many times on the show, we ping pong parties. She has a shot there if she wants to do it. Buttigieg has a shot there. Hillary Clinton might even run then, because I think Hillary Clinton's going to run in this election. And you've heard me say it before. Everybody go back and look. We talked about this. You're seeing it now more and more since we've been off. She made comments on Twitter like, don't tempt me. Or, hey, I beat you before. She was at the selling a book. And she's with Chelsea. And she's like, hey, I beat you before. I'll beat you again. She's floating the idea. And this will lead right into. So I want you to comment on, first, Hillary Clinton and whether you think she might come in like week 1, like in NFL football, skip the preseason. And what's with her and fucking picking on Tulsi Gabbard? And why is Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset? Why is that being alluded to? Why are you destroying someone who's at 1% in the polls?
Well, because she is a Russian asset. Probably.
Okay.
So
talk about Hillary Clinton and Tulsi
Okay,
Gabbard.
so here's the deal. If Hillary Clinton wants to run, I'm all for it. I was always a big Hillary Clinton fan. The Clintons are a powerhouse, and Bill Clinton lost the governorship in Arkansas, and then he came back and he won it back. So they're comeback artists, and I think she would be no holds barred. I think she would take it right to Trump this time, and I think she would probably do it right, and I think they would spend big money, and they would raise big money to beat Trump.
She raised double what Trump did and
That
lost.
being said, Bill Maher recently said that they should stay out of it. Bill Clinton is getting older. He's not the asset he used to be. She's been out of the game a little bit too. And they've taken so much bad media that they are a little bit tainted. And I'll tell you what, that Epstein thing doesn't help much neither.
Nope.
So it may be a simple case that Bill Clinton, honestly, with his sexual problems, not sexual problems, but his perversions, have killed her chance of ever being president. She could only go so far attached to him because as Bill got older, his reputation got worse and worse.
Some people felt that hurt her in the last
And then
run.
the women didn't want to vote for her because they didn't like that she stayed with Bill after he cheated.
Yeah, there's a segment.
She lost a segment of powerful women
Absolutely.
there. Independent women didn't want to deal with that.
Not everyone's into the stand by your man shit.
No, they weren't cool with that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that Hillary is the answer we need, but I also agree with you.
Is she the only one that can get Trump out of office?
We're reaching for stars.